Lights and skies, they glide at night. No explaining, hearts are racing. Chased in shadows, thrills in flight. Hovering, unseen trace. Fueled by mystery, unprovoked proof. Mavericks, electricity, we're feeling the roof. You better look up with wide-eyed sight. They're passing above like stars so bright. Ooh, drones across the skies. Whoa! Drones across the skies. Silent sharks, crisp cloudy night. Hover calmly, freedom lies. Wings of the unknown defy our sight. Travelers of darkened land. Curious wanderers changing the red sky. Secrets now within our hand. You better look up with wide-eyed sight. They're passing above like stars so bright. Ooh, drones across the skies. Whoa, drones across the skies, moving in formation above the light. New Jersey skies, a thrilling flight. Up with wide-eyed sight. They're passing above like stars so bright. Ooh, drones across the skies. Whoa, drones across the skies. Whoa.
My tech lizard's feeling low, circuits fried, can't glow. Silicon scales won't shine. Once a star, now it's mine. Reptile dysfunction, gears and bites malfunction. Reptile dysfunction, heart of a bot in detention. Microchips gone haywire, no more robot fire. Pixelated dreams have died, holograms cannot hide. Wigging in the night, try to make it right. Wires crossed in flight, dawn brings no light.
If the times I come alone, yeah, stop recording on you. You're something life, I've been rushing to be sundown. I feel this in the wild, in the wild, in the wild.
still do, but entertain my teeth. If I did a figure, I'll start to hurt. Talking was attitude, but that's nothing up to fight. To feel some people in the wild, in the wild.
By the road, by the road, by the road, living free just like Mama did before. In the heart of a child I find echoes of you every time I lose track in her past. Chasing dreams, her dream, chasing dreams, that dream. Gonna ride like Mama in that silver stream. Every photo with her smile, she's a star in my mind. Won't deny in the night, in the night, in her eyes. Stars above like the ones in Mama's life. On the move, we move, always on, never still. She says she'll find her promised land with every mile, destiny she defies. Living loud, just like Mama, wild and free. In the mirror of her soul I see traces of her fearless dreams.
Night falls, drones in flight ring through the sky, seekers. Where you at, lights flash, hypnotize. We are the watchers. We are the seekers. We are the dreamers. We are the dreams that fly, that fly. Thrill feels electric, pulse through the night. They roam seekers. Where you at, heartbeats feel like home. We are the watchers. We are the seekers. We are the dreamers. We are the dreams that fly, that fly. We are the watchers. We are the seekers. We are the dreamers. We are the dreams that fly, that fly.
Through quantum fields, our spirits thread entangled moments, words unsaid, a force unseen defying the span, linking hearts, our mystic plan. In the echo of your laughter, I find my peace. In the silence of your absence, love won't see
now.
Okay. Yeah, because if I would have known sooner, I could have put an encore up for us.
Well, I didn't want to commit until like I got closer. You know what I mean? So I wasn't feeling good this morning, but that's one thing. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm still getting stuff set up over on my side. So, but we should be going here pretty soon. I wanted to call you up and make sure I got good levels. You are sounding a little on the low side, but if you're not feeling well, that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not at the top of your game, so yeah.
Not even close. I'll do this one here in Ohio.
Hopefully we'll get everybody. I mean, Barry will come in.
God, motivation, man. She writes me like paragraphs sometimes.
How's she doing?
Good. She's getting like a bunch of dental work stuff done, which is why she can't talk so much all the time.
Yeah, but
And
she
she
can
says
type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's thinking it'll be done in the next couple weeks here, though, and she should get back in the groove.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Why does this keep turning? I just turned that off, didn't I? I need this fan. Yeah, it got hot today, man. And I was working on my truck and just, like, it was a long day. All of a sudden at, like, noon, we wrapped up, and I was just like, holy crap, this sucks. I was hoping I'd feel better, but I'm not really.
Yeah. I totally get it.
Yeah, my truck's been overheating.
That's not good.
Exactly. It started one day, all of a sudden I come up here, and it was a couple weeks ago, and I pull back in and park, and I'm leaking radiator fluid. And it didn't seem like it was that hot. I was watching the temperature, and it didn't seem like I got that hot that day. But I guess I did. I don't know. But we started doing stuff and realized that, like, this thing had an overheating problem before, and the guys did some, like, redneck stuff to fix it.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're going back and undoing all the redneck stuff, and like they took out the thermostat completely to prevent it from overheating, which is probably not the best thing to do. But anyway, we replaced that, and then we've got a new clutch for the fan coming in tomorrow morning, and a couple other things we did. Oh, I got this cool little like radiator that's specifically for my transmission.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but yeah, he's like, this will help you climb, hill passes and stuff. Like when you're going up passes,
Yeah.
it'll completely like prevent you from overheating. So I'm psyched about that. Hopefully by the time we're done tomorrow, I should have this thing in like much, much better shape than it was. But what am I out, like $700 in the process?
Yeah, that's definitely not good.
Yeah. And this happened when I went down to get that new replacement Starlink. Right.
Yep.
So they went hand in hand. The same day that that my Starlink went out, I went down to get a new Starlink, and my radiator started having problems. So it's like, I don't know. They say things comes in threes,
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I'm totally not feeling it. But you can put up like a encore show if necessary, right?
No, I'm like, I didn't have time to do that. If
Oh,
had
I thought you could always kind of do that last
no,
minute.
no,
if
it's
you-
not. I need to know a lot more in advance than just like, oh yeah, a half hour before show. Yeah, let's
Oh,
let's
so
do an
what would happen
encore.
if we don't do this? What happens then?
Huh?
What would happen if we don't go on?
We're gonna
Just
go
dead air?
on somehow, some way. You know, I don't know. We need to
Okay.
find somebody. If
All right.
even if I have to come in and just talk to Barry, I'm like,
Okay.
oh, tell Barry to come into the. Oh boy, here we go. Hold on here. Let me try to bring him in. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for the room. I'm here now.
What room are we in?
The new one that I made for Wednesdays for pre-show.
Okay.
There you are. Or where did you go? Where did he go? Failed. Tried again. Come on, Barry.
Oh, can you like see us chat or something?
Huh?
Can you see us chat or something?
I can see our chat.
Oh, okay.
There he is.
Gotcha. I was wondering.
Barry, you there?
I'm here, man. Yeah.
All right, Barry, man, I got a favor of you tonight.
What's that?
I want you to run point.
What? I don't have
Yeah, I
any
want
to roll, so
you know what?
I don't have anything to roll with for tonight. I have nothing prepared, so.
I'm like so beat up right now, man. I really wanted to do an encore, but we can't.
I mean, if you want to let me talk more than normal or something, I can.
Yeah, like you know what I say, like bring us in, bring us out. Introduce me instead of me introducing you, and like maybe I've got some stories, but if you just like go through my timeline and open up all my shit into a new tab, just go through them.
Why? Why? I don't. What? Are you not feeling well or something? What's up?
Yeah, I'm very much not feeling well.
Okay. Well, I don't want to be feeling that responsibly taking us in and out. You know how terrible I am with that. You do that, dude.
Okay, I'll do the times.
You do the times. Just talk. Just lead me in, and I can rabbit trail to other directions. Don't worry about it. I'll take off a lot of the burden off of you tonight. But just lead
Okay.
it. Let me follow.
Cool.
I'll just ramble more.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm just in a.
I didn't get enough time to pull up an encore to take and do that. Had I known, it would have been not a problem. Sorry, guys.
No, I know what it's like to have. I've had a headache all day, but it's gone, so I'm glad about that. It's just been the last 3 days have been a real. Man, I guess the best way I can just say it is a pain in my ass. That's just the best way I can say it. And I'm being positive about it. I'm not, it's not kicking my butt, but you feel it, man. You feel it when everything's coming against you and you're like, man, I've been through this before and I know what it feels like and I don't like it, but I have no choice but just to keep pushing through.
My rig's been out of commission for like the last couple weeks. And I'm just like tomorrow afternoon, I should have it all like fixed up and good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been able to get down to the grocery stores and stuff. I've been eating like
Junk food.
just the remnants of anything I can find in here, like rice-a-roni, like shit that I just store in here and know that I'll only, like if I get no emergency, I'll eat it. And now I'm like eating it all.
Oh my
And
god.
stuff,
You need to
stuff
get
that
some
doesn't-
MREs, buddy.
isn't really.
Yeah, so this morning I got a chance to go down and get some food, and I'm like slowly taking it in, but it's just really upsetting my stomach, and I'm like heat flustered. We were working on the carb today, so I was out in the sun. It's like 95.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I got a bunch of things knocked out that have been bothering me, and then I got hit with like 3 new things. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I got to tackle these
Well,
things now.
when you think about it, it all started out with me. Fire this weekend, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and then it just went from there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wondering how the other shows are going to be.
Yeah, it's
But Jack will be back tonight. That's a good sign. And had I known this, Jack would have came in with you guys to help out.
Mm.
Because
Well, if you want to get him in a
Jack
second
or
hour,
Jack,
if you think you can.
Jack or Nancy, it's too short a notice for them right now. I'm sure of that.
oh, we can carry it, dude. No problem. It's not even a problem. We got it covered, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
If all
there's
else
no-
fails, Barry and I will talk about Willie, and that usually can cover some time. All right.
Talk about Willie's conversion to Islam
Yeah.
and how he's wearing that full-blown black blanket burqa.
Yeah. Guys wear those too. I was going to tell you that.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I did not.
They, yeah. Certain. What do they call them? Certain types of Muslims.
Sex.
Yeah. Do
So-
that,
so they're
the
trying-
males. But
they're-
usually they'll have a trim. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like a white trim along the bottom, or it'll be
Fancy.
enough where you can see their the turban on the at the top, because they'll still have their face covered, but they'll wear the
That's
thing.
just somebody's bitch.
So it's sort of like
It
men-
has nothing to do with their sexual preference or anything like that. It
No,
has
if
to
you're
do
walking
with
around like
the
that, you're
sect.
somebody's bitch.
It has to do with the sect that they're in. All right.
I think it's like men's cheerleaders in NFL football. I think that's what it's like.
Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. But I'm just saying. All right.
Did you
I-
see?
I've been
What-
I've been to the Middle East a bunch of times, like 11 times. So
Mm.
yeah, and Saudi
Hmm.
at least
Did you see
7
where
or
the
8
left
times. Huh?
the left is complaining about men cheerleaders now in
Mhm.
they're upset because they're coming into women's spaces,
Really?
and
The
it's
left
like,
is upset about it?
the left is upset. Yeah.
I
And
thought the right would be upset about that.
Well, maybe, but not the same kind of upset. It would be like, oh,
Uh-huh.
we're more interested in seeing pretty girls than effeminate men or whatever. I'm not saying they're all effeminate,
Well-
because some of them are kind of masculine, to be honest, because it's a really difficult sport. As far as some of the stuff that they do, but it does seem
And
like the men are kind of effeminate.
And remember that movie Bring It, right? Where they had guys on the teams because the guys had to like launch the chicks up in the air, and they needed guys to be able to throw them that high, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Big
Mhm.
dudes.
So if they're doing that kind of stuff, then I'm all for it. If they're out there as a dude in a dress, like prancing around like some, whatever, then yeah, that's not cool. I'm against
Well, I
that.
mean, it could just be that they ran out of things to whine and complain about, because that's what the woke crowd does. They just whine and complain because that's what makes them feel better. And so they thought, oh, this sounds like a good one. Men invading women's spaces, as if men cheerleaders hasn't been a thing for a long time.
Didn't they do that with like on one of the racing circuits with the like girls that they would have associated with racing cars, and they said it was sexist, so they like brought men in and like ugly chicks, and it just backfired on them massively.
It just backfired on them. Yeah.
I think everything
Oh, yeah,
backfires on them.
everything on the left backfires, right?
Does, yeah. Well, if you're sane, it backfires. The sane people go, oh, that's a little too much, man. But they just go on and on and on. And I guess I'm kind of grateful for it, But what sucks, man, is how sometimes they get the establishment to go along with it. Just these few small, fringe, bizarre voices, and the whole establishment will get behind it and then make it a real thing. And then pretend like it's not a fringe thing, but it's like what everybody thinks. Remember how they did that at first with the woke thing? They pretended like our ideas were the fringe ideas when then the paradigm had changed, and it was, you know, they were putting away the old patriarchy and the old ways and bringing in their new order. And in reality, they were always the fringe. They never ever got out of that.
Exactly.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna take and top my water off, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm going to get some water right now too.
Okay. Well, I was going to do something, but I'd sure hate to leave
Whoa.
that. That's I
Oh
would.
no, I'm here. I'm just getting my water.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't have to leave to get water. You just might hear some noises in the background.
yeah, I think I'll get me some water as well. I popped some popcorn last night. Man, I popped it good too this time. There wasn't any. There wasn't any like crunchy kernels that, you know, like would crack your teeth or anything, which was. I got the temperature just right, the right amount of coconut oil.
Yep.
And now I know how to get it perfect where, you know, most all of the kernels pop right, you know.
Yeah, without burning any of them. That's like the hardest thing about popcorn.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But like, it's like if you pop every last kernel, some of them are going to be burned.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. There's going to be some at the bottom that don't pop. It's just you can't avoid that without burning it.
Yeah.
But I made really, I put some red pepper in it to give it some spice, and it just really seeps into the popcorn, and it tastes like spicy, salty popcorn.
Oh, nice.
I've done
That's cool.
a vinegar and salt popcorn as well, and that was actually really good as well, man. And in fact, they sell that popcorn, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's a vinegar and salt popcorn. So I thought, well, I'd try it myself. Just pour some vinegar in over the kernels and let it pop right into it.
Oh, really? You didn't put it on afterwards? You put it on before you even cooked it?
Yep. And that's where you get the taste. Yeah, it was good, man. I was like, yeah. What else?
I'd never think to do that.
I guess you could do the same thing with like jalapeno juice as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could do all kinds of different things. I haven't figured out how to do the white cheddar though. That would be kind of interesting. I'd like to be able to do that, but I have no clue.
Smart, like the Smart Food.
Hmm?
You have that brand Smart Food?
Oh yeah. They have white cheddar. And it's good, man. But it gets all over your fingers, man. Layers and layers. It does. It's like, this sucks, dude. Now I got to wash my hands like every 5 minutes. But yeah. So hey, man, I kind of feel with you, man, with the week, but it's been kind of like, I don't even want to talk about it because if I start focusing in on it, I'll then, whatever you want to call, I'll make it bigger than it is. So I just have to just.
Yeah, we don't need to make a big deal out of it on the air. I'll you know, buckle up and pull through, and no one will know the difference.
Oh yeah, and plus I love the opportunity to get to talk a little bit more. It's not going to be a problem for me. So if you,
good.
And if you want to cut me off, go right ahead. If you start feeling like you want to do the vibe, you know. But I mean, we'll make it work, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to lead because I don't have the stories. And I'm terrible with the timing, and not normal. But everything else, man. I mean, I'll give you some rest tonight, and
I appreciate it, man. I could use it.
Oh no.
Just trying to cool off, man.
I was, you know, I was doing some work before I got on air here, and I really need to be working is what I need to be doing because I'm, you know, in the middle of listing some stuff. I was like, all right, man, I'm just going to, you know, put it aside and come back to it right after. It's really hard, though, to go from the show to, like, work because they're so different. You know what I'm saying? It's a different mindset.
Different skill, different everything,
yeah, but I'm just going to have to force myself to finish up.
Well, we're lucky to have this, you know, just because it is a great way to keep you sharp and on your feet and well-spoken, you know.
I love it, man. It's well, you know, I bet you anything like I think this would be a good study, like people that have a talk show. I would bet you anything that they have a less lesser chance of Alzheimer's, or at least getting it later in life. I don't plan on getting it all, but some people may be, have a propensity towards it for whatever reason.
All right,
But,
I'm back.
Just like crossword puzzles, they say if
Yeah.
that wards off dementia by like about a decade, for people that might get it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything that's using your brain would probably be something good.
Yep.
Roger Hanson, Smoking Peace in the Kick Chat. Roger's probably restreaming. Thank you very much. I'm sure he is.
Mm-hmm. Roger that.
Roger.
Roger.
And
Sounds
all
like
the
a
other
naked.
folks that we have coming in.
Like the way you worded it, all the other folks, like it's like the tens of thousands of people rushing in online.
It could be. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
It's a Dragus
Should-
production. Anything's possible. MC Dirty Work over in the D Live chat. Hope to see you later on tonight. Man, he'd be a great guy to come in for your show. Yeah.
Who's that?
MC Dirty Work over from D Live. Check him out.
MC Dirty Work.
Yeah, he's an MC jam and mo type guy, man. He's just like he can he's a great guy. Does conspiracy.
We'll have him come join Sunday night after the show.
Yeah. Well, I'll check with them to see. MC, you want to come in on Sunday night on the after show, and we'll check you out for a Wednesday show, maybe later on or something like that down the road. He'll be in tonight. You can listen to him on Nancy's show if you pop in. Yeah, real cool guy. Probably DK Conspiracy over there as well. MC, are you restreaming too? If you are, I appreciate it. Let me bring you up. You might still be going.
Well, let's see what we got here.
He has a show on D Live called the Deprogram.
Oh, okay, deprogramming the programming.
Program. Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Here, I'll drop what his title is, and what times he's on. Over to you.
Should we do the whole show like this? Talking
No,
like
please
this?
don't. There's a Sunday night, no problem, Barry. All right, Sunday, no problem. All right.
What's up,
Well-
Willie? Hey, Willie! It's your favorite chipmunk.
Alvin!
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't resist that though.
That's the way, I like it, All right.
I'm backing out of that because that's obnoxious.
Yeah.
But it just wouldn't be a pre-show without a few voice effects. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like become a regular. It's official. Or am I just imagining things?
Yeah, you're probably imagining things. Don't let it get to you.
Interesting. Am I imagining things?
Yeah, but don't be a communist like Lenin,
Don't be a
because he's
communist.
imagining a world. He imagined a world without people.
In a world without people,
Yeah.
stuck in a space-time vacuum. All right, that's fine. I don't need to do that anymore, really. I have no need to do that. It's just, just fiddling. Kind of like Trump likes to doodle and draw things, same thing. Or at least the left says that he likes to doodle. I mean, that's what we've been told.
Yankee Doodle.
Went to town, riding on a pony, stuck his feather in his hat, and he called it.
Macaroni.
He called it. Yeah, there you go. Boy, we're on top if we got that down. You know what I'm saying? We got a show that's going to be dynamite tonight for sure. Mark,
I remember Googling that once, and I'm like, why the hell would they call it macaroni?
Okay. Here's the reason. If you didn't know, all right.
I knew Mark would come up and say
Macaroni.
there's some
You know
logical
the reason.
behind it.
Yeah. I said I Googled it once because I was curious. Macaroni was just very fancy back then. It was
Yes, it was very expensive to make.
But I haven't.
Yeah.
Please enlighten me.
macaroni was very hard and expensive to make back then, so it was very fancy.
And now it's like the cheapest thing to buy at the grocery.
Exactly.
It's so bizarre. I remember it wasn't too long ago. You get like 4. I know it's more than that now, but you could get 4 macaroni and cheese in a box for $1. Remember that?
Yeah.
That wasn't too long ago.
Hey guys, we should probably start looking to head over within the next minute or so over to the next
All right,
one.
I'm gonna hang up.
No.
Where's your pipe tonight, Mark?
I got it right here, but I got clickety clack stuff that I got to do before I light up. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Once I hit the 57 mark here, I'm gonna take and switch us over to the next one, and we'll get it going from there. All right. I'll let you know.
Yes, sir.
All right. I guess John's already gone, huh?
In a world of Greg's Productions. Tell us about your world, man. Tell us about it. Tell us how it goes down each and every night, man. How Dregas Productions basically is riveting the rest of the entire world
That's right. We are.
with its riveting content.
You would never know. But I'm telling
gonna
you right now. Oh man, don't. No.
I told you to quit scrolling TikTok before the show, Mark.
No, not scrolling TikTok. I gotta find. There it is. All right. What?
Say what?
There we go. All right. I'll see you on the other side.
Okie dokie, man. Welcome to
right.
the other side.
Go ahead and
Break on through to the other side.
yeah. Let me hang this up, and I'll get everybody going from there. All right.
That's your dog. You may close it.
Yes.
I'm going with Alex. I mean, Ricky.
All right. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
I'm in the bathroom, but I should be out of the bathroom here in a minute. Does it sound like I'm in the bathroom?
You sound like you're in Utivation's living room.
That's wrong, man. I'm telling you, you said that, dude. That is kind of funny, though.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Where
that's,
we
that's
at?
called the bath.
Oh,
That's
I
called
just-
the bathroom reverb.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta hang up on this one and gotta call you on the other one. Oh man, damn it.
Why? Does it matter?
Yes, it matters. Because the time's already gone. Wednesday 1. Join now. What the hell?
All right.
Welcome to the
All right, you got
Censorship
30 seconds.
Roundtable Radio Show and beyond.
All right, let's do a quick sound check. How do I sound?
Too late.
Sounds
Great.
great.
I love your voice. It sounds very professional.
Oh,
Thinking
my
you talk
God.
like that on the show tonight. Can you do that for me, please?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show for Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. And as always, we've got a great show for you coming up right now. For the next 2 hours, we're going to be coming at you live over the radio. With me tonight, I've got Bullhorn Barry. How you doing, Barry?
Oh, man. Yeah, hump day. You know, just plowing away just to get to the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. Hump day. I don't know if I approve of that term. I never really have.
Well, it's like mid, you know what I'm saying? Middle of the they call it hump day.
Yeah, like a camel hump or like go hump someone?
I think neither of those, actually, but, you know.
Okay. Anyway, let's dive into some news. Raise the Colors is trending in the UK right now. We talk a lot about the UK lately because there's a lot to talk about over there. They are falling apart. And Raise the Colors is trending because people are raising the flag of England and the flag of Britain all over the place. The Union Jack and the St. George Cross are going up all over the place. And it's a beauty to see. You go down some of these roads and every single light post has a St. George Cross flag hanging from it. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's gorgeous. I would be so proud if I went over to England and I saw that, you know? But what are the councillors over there doing? The councils are taking them down as fast as you can put them up. They don't fill a pothole. They don't take away the trash all the time. But man, you put up an English flag in England and they will take it down inside of the hour. There was a guy who went to a roundabout and he painted the inside of it white and then put a red cross through it. And not only was he barely done with the thing, he was just finishing it. They came and took him away. And then an hour or so later, boom, they had a spray truck out there to clean it off and get rid of it. The flag of your country painted on a median, and it's so offensive to your government that they come and get rid of it immediately. Barry,
exactly.
are we watching the decline of the UK or what?
Yeah, well, it's the globalist Democrat way. You know, you can't have nationalism, you can't have populism, and you can't have real national patriotism. You know, like Macron said, he said that nationalism is the opposite of patriotism. Why? Because they believe in world governance. That's the real patriotism. But if you have nationalism and you know, like your country, like what it stands for, likes the culture, like what it represents, well, that's now a no-no. You know, I can remember when I was a youth sponsor at church, and, you know, you really can't be too political and have any kind of a position. And so what I would do is I would just make sure that every time I came to the church, this was, you know, during Trump's administration, and I guess maybe early into the shamdemic, but not for too much long because I left the church. But basically, I would wear patriotic stuff. And it drove the Democrat leftist woke people insane. They hated the flag. But they couldn't say anything. But what were they going to say? You know, we hate our country. At that point in time, they weren't willing to say that. Now they just basically say America sucks and we hate the flags. And, you know, whenever I see flags, I automatically see white supremacy and racism and all this other nonsense. So I found ways around. And really, that's what you have to do in this day and age when you're trying to, you know, get your point across, and especially when there's a lot of censorship, you have to find ways to work around it. And so, man, I had like patriotic wristbands. I had a patriotic stocking cap. One week, I just wore a patriotic suit with a patriotic tie. I mean, I bought this. It's kind of a costume patriotic suit, but it had red pants with the red, white, and blue stars. You know, it's like a flag sport coat, and I had this
like Uncle Sam would wear.
Yeah, yeah. And I got more compliments from the conservatives and more dirty licks from the Democrats than you could possibly believe. But they couldn't say anything because that wasn't really political. I mean, aren't we all Americans? Shouldn't we all love our country?
Like the flag of England. You know, there's people out there calling it racist. They're saying you can bring it up for a soccer game, but it's just racist when you do it, you know, on a day-to-day basis. And this isn't new. The criticism of the St. George flag has been out front and center in the UK for several years now, where people just have a problem with it when they're trying to move into this new multicultural new world order, you know, which is why they don't mind the Union Jack so much, because the Union Jack is more inclusive of Ireland and, well, Northern Ireland and Wales and Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it seems like, you know, they really are the ones that are not inclusive because they tend to not embrace things that represent freedom and things that represent opportunity and things that represent free speech. They tend to represent the cultures that have all these flawed ideologies, you know, like maybe some of these people that are radical Islamic people, they tend to have more radical viewpoints. They're a little bit more tyrannical. They're really, really harsh with their women. So they seem to embrace that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is diametrically opposed to their core values. Yet they're saying the enemy of my enemy is my ally. But at the end of the day, they're not allies in any way, shape, or form. The far left and the Muslim communities are diametrically opposed to each other.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. What you just said right there is exactly what they're doing because they really don't like those people. They're using those people to destroy all the good things that we've created, like freedom, like prosperity, like opportunity, right? All the things that we value in America and pretty much all over the world, although nobody really has it as good as we do.
Yeah. I mean, we look at the squad, you know, not so much AOC, but the Ilhan Omar, the Rashida Tlaibs. They're not liberal Democrats in the traditional sense that we in America would look at. They're on the left because they know that the right, i.e. Donald Trump, is fighting against what they want in America, which is for them to be able to take over Minnesota, Dearborn, Michigan, you know, have these areas be their domains where they can institute Sharia law. In Austria, they just allowed Muslims to be able to use intermediaries within their community to settle disputes, which is just open Sharia law now in Austria.
Yeah, it's really scary. Yeah.
Yeah. A country where we just reported on a few weeks ago how the schools are just, they're inundated with people who don't speak English. I'm sorry, their native language, German. And so it is becoming, you know, more and more difficult to integrate, to teach, to do anything in the schools because no one speaks the same languages anymore. And most of the kids are named Mohammed. So where do you take that? You know, in Austria.
That makes sense why they like that Islamic Sharia, because it's tyrannical and the globalists are tyrannical. They want to get you used to it. So when they usher in their, you know, liberal world order, we'll just accept it, right? And it may even seem better than if, say, for example, an area that had been taken over by Sharia law where, you know, in some countries, I remember there were reporters and investigative reporters, you know, from the right that went to different nations where, you know, Sharia had taken over an entire city or a portion of a city, and they didn't even allow women into those areas. You know, I'm trying to think of the one woman, she's done a whole bunch of documentaries, right? I can't think of her name. She's a blonde, but she went there. And she was not in because she was a woman, right? She was a woman, so they would not allow her into that area because it had just been taken over by this, you know, Sharia type of mentality or whatever.
Yeah. I got a clip here of how easy it is to get arrested in the UK nowadays. Ready? Listen to this. He said, "We love bacon." And I would play the rest of this clip, but I don't want to introduce any, you know, profanity, which could potentially be in the background. He says, "We love bacon." You just heard it. Instantly, the cops drag him away, cuff him, and he's under arrest.
Yeah, that's tyranny, man. That is absolute.
That's ridiculous. And The sad part is they don't even have bacon over there. If you go to England and say, hey, you want some bacon and eggs? And they, I say, yeah, I'd love some bacon and eggs. You're not going to get bacon. You're going to get ham. Same thing with Canada. I don't know why the rest of the world doesn't eat bacon. It's just so good. It's the number one go-to for breakfast. And yet half the world they think they have bacon, but they don't have bacon. They're being denied. They're living in this false illusion of life where they talk to Americans and say, I love bacon too, man. I love bacon. No, you like ham. You've never had bacon. But don't get me started on that. That's a whole nother.
Well, again, it's, if you're going to come over to this country, our country or any other country, you better be willing to assimilate. We're not changing our prosperous, amazing way to, convert to your oppressive way, okay? Because bacon's popular here in America, man. And remember, you have some of these Muslims going around harassing people, eating bacon, knocking over their plates and doing all kinds of weird stuff like that. And it sort of reminds me also when BLM was real, popular, how they were going around to people in restaurants that they had no idea, what the person believed, if they were racist or not racist, and they would surround them in a restaurant, start yelling and screaming at them until they said Black Lives Matter. Well, they're just trying to peacefully eat, right? Again, this is the stuff that the establishment promotes. They literally promote this kind of insanity because they want to break us down and divide us so that they can take us over.
Heck, in Portland, they were stopping cars, and unless you said the F word towards ICE, they wouldn't let you move on. Right? So that you're just stuck in traffic unless you say F ICE. Right?
Yeah, in any normal reality, that would be headline news, about how these people are totally acting disorderly and harassing people. But instead, it gets a green light or it's just completely ignored.
Yeah. And thank God they're cracking down on all that stuff now. But we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to stick on the UK. I got another story here about how they're basically trying to get 4chan to enact their Online Safety Act over there, right? So they sent this big thing over to 4chan, in accordance with Section 130 of the Online Safety Act of 20. We have today issued 4chan Community Support LLC with provisional notice of contravention. Ofcom is satisfied that there are reasonable grounds for, believing you're controversial in its duties and yada, yada, yada. They want to shut down 4chan, right? So the response here from 4chan, Byron Storms PC, attorneys at law, regarding Ofcom's report of provisional notice, 4chan Community Support LLC. According to press reports, the UK Office of Communication, Ofcom, has issued a provincial notice under the Online Safety Act alleging a contravention by 4chan, indicating an intention to impose a penalty of $20,000 plus daily penalties thereafter. 4chan is a United States company incorporated in Delaware with no establishment, assets, or operations in the United Kingdom. Any attempt to impose or enforce penalties under 4chan will be resisted in U.S. federal courts. American businesses do not surrender their First Amendment rights because a foreign bureaucrat sends them an email. Under settled principle of U.S. law, American courts will not enforce foreign penal fines or censorship codes. If necessary, we will seek appropriate relief in U.S. federal court to confirm these principles. The United States federal authorities have been briefed on this matter, and it goes on to say that Prime Minister Keir Starmer was reportedly warned by the White House to cease targeting Americans with the UK censorship codes, according to reports in the Telegraph. Despite these warnings, Ofcom continues its illegal campaign of harassment against American technology firms. A political solution to this matter is urgently required, and that solution must come from the highest levels of the American government, i.e. Donald Trump. So their response is, Donald Trump told you not to do this. You have no jurisdiction over us. And basically, neener, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I mean, but it's that globalist strategy that we've talked about, the foothold strategy, right? In America, we're making all this progress, making all this ground, and Trump's doing some amazing things, and we're kind of actually shifting the paradigm. Well, the globalists say, okay, I see that. That's not going to work for our favor, but we can still make some great progress in the UK. We can still make some great progress in Australia. We can still make some great progress in Canada, Ireland, and different places. So they practice this foothold strategy in the hopes that eventually the pendulum will swing back their way. Then they can bring in their whole, social credit score, their, I don't know, passport, COVID passport thing, and have, just total tracking, surveillance, and just complete domination over us. So they're just waiting for that moment. And in the meantime, they're just going to keep, putting forth. They're doubling down, man. They're doubling down and they're doubling down. But here's the good news. Like you were saying, everybody's showing their patriotism. So it's actually having a really, it's backfiring on them. So I think that this is kind of inevitable. It kind of has to happen, that they have to double down in order to wake the rest of the people that haven't woken up yet. They have to wake up too, so that we can have, some sort of big, giant global paradigm shift that most people really from all different aspects of life, whether it's, Christians or New Agers or just people that, just have their finger on the pulse. Everybody's saying that there is going to be some kind of a paradigm shift that's going to be better than what it was before. Because as I've said before, we're either stepping headlong into tyranny or we're stepping into the Great Awakening. It's going to be one or the other. We're never going back to the way things were, because the way things were wasn't really all that great. It's better than it is now, but what awaits us could be so much better, man. That's what Trump is all about, bringing opportunity, bringing renaissance, bringing these freedom cities. Remember when he talked about having these freedom cities, building cities from the ground up to where people can afford homes and cars and vehicles and things like that? I mean, It's basically a world where you can dream it, make it happen. That's the possible paradigm that we could be stepping into, and that the elite want to stop from happening. They want to bring everybody down and take everything away from us so they can control us, because they're a bunch of control freaks.
Yep, they are. And, just to keep on the UK subject here for just another minute or so, September 13th, Tommy Robinson is holding a colossal, massive, record-breaking rally in London and really all over the UK. He's expecting, just in London alone, over 250,000 people, and across all of the UK, over 500,000 people. And he is stressing to them that this absolutely must be peaceful. There are to be no masks. If you can't wear, if you have to wear a mask, don't come. Be peaceful. Don't wear masks. Let's show them what it looks like to have the people rise up peacefully and say to them, hey, we've been asking you to do something about this for how many election cycles now? Has the top thing been illegal immigration into the country? And they've done nothing. They've made it worse and worse and worse, and they have no intention whatsoever of ever correcting the course. And so it's really putting England into a tipping point, a turning point, as I mentioned to Brett last week, where now one of their former generals has come forward. Let me get his exact credentials. Retired British Army Colonel Richard Kemp. He's saying the primary risk the UK faces is from an alliance of the hard left and Islamic extremists, that he fears civil war because politicians are myopic to take action. To quote him a little bit here, quote, and they have no option. I'm not encouraging or supporting this, but I think the people will feel they have no option other than take action into their own hand rather than rely on political leaders who are doing nothing in their eyes. I think there's every likelihood, I don't know what the time frame is, but I would go so far as to not just predict civil unrest, but civil war in the UK coming years if the situation continues, which I believe it will. There isn't anything they can do. It's baked in. We're already past the tipping point, is my estimation. We are past the point at which there's a political off-ramp. We are past the point at which normal politics is able to solve the problem. Almost every plausible way forward from here involves some kind of violence in my views. Anything the government tries to do at this point, you can solve one kind of problem, but it will aggravate another kind of problem in doing so, and you get back to violence. The question really is about mitigating the cost, in my mind, not about preventing the outcome. I'm sorry to say, I've not heard a credible political way forward, and I don't see a single political figure who is credible in the role of the nation's savior, or even inclined to do so. The bottom line is, I don't think there is now a political solution to this which takes the form of everything just working out okay after some period of difficulty. Things are bad now, but they're going to get very much worse. Hopefully after they will get better, but you'll have to go through the period of very much worse before you get there. And we've been talking about this for a while. I see it, you see it, he sees it, academics see it, it's a tipping point, man. They're getting to that tipping point, and the politicians just don't care. They want that civil war. They seem to want it. And, you know, as we were talking about before, it's the far left coupled with radical Muslims, insanely enough, that are pushing against the average Brit out on the street who just wants to live a British life and be a Brit.
No, I would say maybe Antifa type of people as well. Yeah, the Intifada,
Sure.
but also the Antifa thugs as well. I mean, you know, just anybody that they can recruit who will, you know, oppose any kind of, you know, peaceful revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Antifa is always the spear of the sword. You know, they're always on the far left, pushing any far left ideology, even when it's diametrically opposed to their own values. You know, they call you bigots and trans people are people, and, you know, but then they say they stand up for Palestine, where they wouldn't be allowed for 5 minutes. They wouldn't be allowed to survive or
It's
live
full of
for 5
contradiction.
minutes.
Yeah, it's meant to be a contradiction. Just that way people don't get involved, you know. They don't want to talk about it. But that's why you and I are here. We're here to break it down and tell you exactly what it is that they're doing, you know, and exposing it for what it is. But most people are like, well, it just doesn't make sense. I just how do I fit into this argument? I just don't know even how to approach it, nor do I want to waste my time with it. But thankfully, people like you and I, we enjoy it. We like breaking it down, giving you the analysis, telling you how it's going to happen. And it's no question that the elite want civil war.
Yeah, and they're gonna lose. You know, I mean, it's not going to be pretty for them. If you really want a civil war here in the United States, I don't know about England, but here in the United States, good luck with that. You know, all the people who want to take your guns away are going to come up, knock on your door, and say, "Hey, we're here to take your gun away. We're with the new government. We're here to take your gun away," and that's going to last like 30 seconds before they run down the driveway with, you know, buckshot in their backside.
I mean, I can break it down how I think it, you know, what the elite are thinking real quick, if you don't mind. Do we have time to do that before the break?
Yeah, we got couple minutes.
Well, the elite, like we said, they want the Civil War. There's no question about that. They put out that stupid movie Barack Obama did as the producer, you know, Leave the World Behind, and then Civil War, where they basically shoot the Trump-like president, you know, at point blank range as he begs for mercy not to be killed, but they shoot and kill him anyway. And they want the Civil War. But I think, at least here in America, that if they did try to go that route, that Trump, and we've already seen what he's done when there's been violent uprisings, he's brought in the National Guard or what have you, right? So if they tried that here in America, any uprisings, violent uprisings that came, which would come from the left, they would be the ones that would stoke it. They would be, you know, none of us on the right would be initiating that. We would only defend ourselves if we were like being shot at or something, which would just be, you know, self-defense. But Trump would go in there with the National Guard or whatever that's necessary and arrest the uprisings. Now, what frightens me, like in a place like UK, they would choose who's the good guys and then they would choose the good guys as the bad guys and round them up and arrest them. So I think that would be the worst thing that could happen to them in UK, would be some kind of literal physical war take place, no matter who started it, because they will blame the good guys. It's just that simple. You know, even if they were just acting in self-defense, which would probably be the case because, you know, they would send in agent provocateurs. And then, of course, you know, conservatives or whatever they, you know, might be that are over there in the UK, they would respond, of course, I mean, because they're being shot at or whatever. And then they would just totally blank out that part that they were shot at and just say, look, these, and then they would start arresting them. So they have the power and the might of the military. That's why I think they would lose in that particular case in the UK. In the United States, if they tried that, we would win because it would never get off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when I think of a lot of the people and I see some of these protests going on now, imagine one of their football stadiums there packed with soccer hooligans, right? Just packed to the hill, soccer hooligans, 50,000 of them. They can drum that up any week, anytime they want. They can get all those people, and they are tough dudes. You know, I mean, they fight for fun, just for fun. Let's have a fight. Okay. It's, you know, they're hooligans, man. There's millions of them in that country, and they can bring them up on a dime. So I don't know, man. I wish him all the best of luck. But we got to take a break, folks. We'll be right back after this, and we'll talk more about what's going on here in the United States after we get back.
All right, we're on radio break.
Great job.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, you sound like you're doing pretty good, CS.
Yeah. So far,
yeah,
you're
I'm
hanging
doing
in
it.
there. You're hanging in
You're
there.
rising. You're rising up to the challenge.
I'm acting.
Are you?
Yeah, all the world's a stage.
There you go. Well, you're doing a good acting job, man. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? Had I not talked to you beforehand, you sound on par, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of dragging myself, but sometimes that happens when I first start out too, when I'm kind of tired. But by the time the second hour comes in, usually my mind is kind of geared up a little bit.
Yeah.
I seem like I'm a little slow on my thoughts, but it's all right. It's not terrible. You know how it is. But you definitely, when you're on the radio, you want to be Ben Shapiro quick.
Yeah, right.
If at all possible. And no, I'm not endorsing Ben Shapiro. I'm just saying she's quick. You know what I'm saying? The guy he can just talk and just rattle without, even having a break in his thoughts. It's amazing. I do think he's amazing in that regard. I'm not saying I agree with him on everything or what have you, but he can just go.
He talks fast, man.
He's taking his brain force from Infowars.com or something, or got that methylene blue SP that he's taking. Ultra methylene blue, I should say. I would try that stuff if it was all natural, but I don't know. It's a textile dye, but apparently it's good for so many different things, mainly your mitochondria, but people are saying that they just have massive clarity and energy and stamina when they take this stuff. And of course, Mel Gibson promoted it as a cancer cure, because he said he had 4 friends that were 4th stage cancer, and they were taking ivermectin with ultramethylene blue and a couple other things, and they're all cancer free, he said. So they're totally going outside of the mainstream conventional way of, say, radiation, chemo, and surgery, and just doing these holistic treatments, which I could see, like, if you had cancer or something, you might want to try that. I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I know that there has been some major success stories. And everybody I know, Robert Kennedy Jr. takes methylene blue every day, and he takes huge doses. And look at him, man. I mean, he's like 1 or 2, and he's got the body of like a 30-year-old. I mean, as far as his muscles go, you know what I mean? He was out there doing exercises with Pete Hegseth the other day and keeping up Pete, who's like a former, I guess, Marine or something like that.
Yeah, Pete was Marine.
So he was just barely behind Pete, keeping up with push-ups and all kinds of things.
But look
man.
at the age difference, though. Come on now.
Yeah, so you would think
that he did. He did awesome. I won't.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was very impressive, man. Very impressive.
I caught
but
that.
if you look at the team that Trump has, as a general rule, most of them look pretty healthy. They look full of life. They're effervescent. They got personality. Then you look at the Democrats, man. You look at who Biden had in control. They all look just weak, overweight, fat, and pathetic. Just, I don't know, man. It's just, how do people get excited about that? Everybody that's representing you, it's like the medical doctor that's telling you, oh, you need to exercise. And he's like 450 pounds, right? Smokes and drinks every night. That's the guy that's going to give you advice about health. Well, you obviously don't know too much about health. But wouldn't you think that a medical doctor should be like one of the healthiest people? They should be like setting the example of what health is like. But that's not even what the health industry, the medical industry is about. It's not about health. It's just about giving you a pill and trying to fix you.
Yeah, it's fast food.
If that doesn't work, they'll cut you open and take something out of you. which I understand is necessary at times, but wouldn't it have been better just to practice prevention? Practice prevention so that you don't have problems. Just go back to that 114-year-old Indian guru that was jogging when he was 114.
Okay, here's your countdown. Sorry, we're under 30 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition for August 20, 2025. Excuse me. I was eating some chicken during the break, and as I'm speaking there, some of the
did you get the chicken leg bone, or what happened there?
Yeah, no, I just I need a sip of water. We came back pretty quick, so didn't have time to.
Yeah, he said 30 seconds, and the next thing you know, he's 5. He loves to do that, doesn't he? Keep us on our toes.
Oh yeah, so all right, let's get back into American politics. America, heck yeah.
America, baby, America. Wasn't that like racist too? Remember when people just said America, but they didn't say America? There was something they complained about that as well. What was that? Because I can't even remember. It was so foolish.
Well, it's just America, America.
America, like Midwestern America, man.
Yeah.
Like Nolan Ryan, America.
Hey, man, it's right up my alley, man. I see somebody with a big old chew in the back of his mouth and spitting in the spittoon. He's like, America.
Mm-hmm. But it's just how, Midwesterners and Southerners, pronounce certain words. It's nothing wrong with it. It's all good. America.
Hey, we know what we're talking about.
God bless America. Right?
My home, sweet home.
My home, sweet home. So, we all know that businesses are kind of tepid. They don't tread into political waters too much. But Bed Bath & Beyond just lit up the left. They made a statement today that has Gavin Newsom sweating in his little boots. Okay? Listen to this. It's incredible. Statement from Marcus Lemoine, executive chairman of Bed Bath & Beyond. Quote, "We will not open or operate retail stores in California, period." New paragraph. "The decision isn't about politics, it's about reality. California has created one of the most overregulated, expensive, and risky environments for business in America. It's a system that makes it hard to employ people, harder to keep doors open, and harder to deliver value to customers. The result? Higher taxes, higher fees, higher wages that many businesses simply cannot sustain, and endless regulations that strangle growth. Even when the state announces a budget surplus, it's built on the backs of ordinary citizens who are paying too much and businesses who are being squeezed until they break. Now, they have plans to expand in all 49 other states, but they're not going to touch California with a 10-foot pole. Bed Bath & Beyond, folks. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a shocker. It's rare that a company will come out and make that bold of a statement saying, look, this doesn't work. This isn't working.
Yes.
Because they just pissed off every politician in California. They just ticked off so many people with that statement. From the governor down to the secretary of state, every single person in both houses of Congress there, everyone. The dog catcher in Anaheim is pissed off about this.
Yeah. I welcome their what they're doing. I think that's great. It does seem like they want to have some freedom, which is kind of ironic considering the fact that they were the very ones that literally took Mike Lindell's product out of their store simply because he had a, differing political belief than what he had. Although his political belief probably aligns with what Bed Bath & Beyond is doing now. So I don't know if they've had a change of heart about their political beliefs or their political stances, but all of a sudden they want freedom, but they certainly weren't giving it to people on the right, during all the woke madness, and it's still going on. It's just not quite as prevalent or as successful than it was back in the day. But they, started a trend that basically almost left Mike Lindell bankrupt had he not had, like talk show influencers and stuff pick up his product and him give them a share of the profit, because Walmart also kicked him out. And Walmart was one of his biggest clients, right? They took out everything. They didn't even give him a real reason as to why they did it. At the end of the day, he still doesn't know exactly why.
But we all know why.
Exactly. We all know why. But that was a big gig for him. So he lost Bed Bath & Beyond, and then he lost Walmart. So he basically was just dependent upon all the conservatives, buying his product, going to his website. And I know Alex Jones carried his product. I know, a lot of other influencers. Benny Johnson, I think, carries his product, And
I wonder if Trump hotels do.
Huh?
I wonder if the Trump hotels do. If they're high enough standard for a Trump hotel to,
man,
you know what I mean?
I bet you.
I wonder.
The extra fluffy pillows in every room, man. The only that Mike Lindell can deliver on, of course.
Or does he get some goose down stuff that's way more expensive than anything Mike sells, right? Like Mike goes up to 400 count Egyptian cotton, but Trump in the hotels is using 1,000 count. So it's like, hey, Mike, I'd love to give you the order. You're just not stocking the right stuff.
Well, they use the Mike Lindell stuff for pillow fights. They make great.
There you go.
In the very least, right?
Yeah. And the plague kind of
the new Russian collusion delusion, right? Trump, went into Obama's hotel, and he had this horrible pillow fight, with Melania, and it cracked her head, and she's never been the same ever since.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So, let's see what else is going on. The Zelensky thing. We've got a meeting with Putin that went down last Friday, and then earlier this week we had Zelensky meet with Trump and other European leaders, and now we're going to have a trilateral meeting occurring next with Zelensky, Trump, and Putin. And it seems like we're making progress here. It seems like everyone that came out of this meeting earlier this week with Zelensky and Trump and European leaders all had, well, there's some that are just never going to, the German guy, screw him. But from a lot of the other people there, we're hearing good, positive messages that it sounds like there could be an answer on the solution coming up in the near future. And that would be so incredible. If he can pull this off, I mean, Hillary Clinton said she would nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
I kind of heard something about that. Was she serious about that?
I think she was.
Okay. Well, okay. Kudos then. Can't believe she would say that, but maybe she said that because she has so much confidence in the shadow cabal, making sure that doesn't happen, that she said that.
Well, also, I think she'd be happy to do it just to throw a bone to Trump and say, please don't throw me in prison for the rest of my life. I got you a Nobel Prize.
Well, there's that too. There's that too, for sure.
Yeah, please don't. Don't throw me and everyone I know into prison.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I mean, she kind of had her chance, right? And then she doubled down, just like they all did. Trump was very merciful, and they saw that as weakness. They didn't see that as kindness. They just saw it as weakness.
Yeah, could you imagine all those guys, all the people from her administration, well, Bill's, but her campaign, Obama's people, just all in Gitmo in a room together. Could you imagine the pandemonium, the finger pointing that would be going on in that room, the yelling and screaming?
I think putting them all in one room would be like a form of torture, though.
Yeah, in orange suits.
Yeah, they would never get along, man. Because they're all so narcissists, and they all think, they're the big shot. I mean, think about it. Hillary thinks she's a big shot. Obama thinks he's a big shot. Obama brags all the time. If I could run for a third time, I'd win. No, he wouldn't. He can't even get a crowd anymore. Not like he used to. Trump can get a crowd anytime, any place, even in Democrat areas.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
And it's funny seeing Gavin Newsom go at Donald Trump so hard. And I can't remember who it was came out and said to him today, look, dude, he's not running in 26. He's not running in 28. You're not running against Donald Trump. Why don't you find somebody that you can actually pick a fight with? Like maybe J.D. Vance. right? Why are you throwing everything you have in this comical way at Donald Trump when you're not running against him, dude? That's the thing they're going to have to start figuring out soon is, as great as he is, they're not running against him, you know?
It's just the trendy thing to do. They know it. They know it's going to get them some views. They know it's going to get some traction if they do that. But of course, it's gaining less and less traction the more they do it. So eventually, you know, it just wears thin. And I think we're getting to that place. You know, it'll be sooner than later.
Yeah, it probably will be. Because the left is crazy. And I have proof positive right here. You want to hear proof positive that the left is crazy?
I mean, how many million things can you bring up? 'Cause there's so many.
Well, I got Joy Reid, one of the spokespeople from MSNBC, which is now MS Now, or MS Now, or MS No. We'll get to that in a minute. But here's Joy Reid talking about how white people can't really invent anything.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king, because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Oh my God. Talking about Elvis Presley and his hit song Hound Dog. Which I don't know the origins of it. I don't know what that is, but he stole it from a overweight black woman.
I mean, there's no question that a lot of his music was pulled from black influence.
Sure.
I think that's a compliment to...
He's from Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, look, Little Richard, I mean, he was kind of one of the pillars for creating that style, more so than Elvis. But Elvis pretty much did it in a way that it resonated with more people. I mean, that's just the facts. That's just the truth. But nobody denies Little Richard's contribution and that he's like, the father of that kind of stuff, that kind of music. I mean, he's had those accolades poured on him. He's passed away now. I think he died away a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, he passed away.
Yeah, but actually anyone who saw Back to the Future 2 knows that he actually stole that from Michael J. Fox.
There you go. Yeah. Well, see, it all goes around eventually.
Right?
Well, these are people living with a chip on their shoulder, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me saying the black community. That's me saying that particular person is living with a chip on their shoulder. When we've long passed that day of, whatever it is that she thinks exists now, it doesn't exist now. We're in a different world. I mean, we had Obama as the president. So please, and white people voted for Obama. In fact, most of the people that voted for Obama were white people. That is a fact, because we, at that particular time, were the strong, predominant force in the United States of America. And we still are. We're just less. I think we're probably like 61% of the population now. And the rest is, brown and black and yellow and whatever, red.
Yeah. I mean, you got to win the white population in America if you're going to be president. It's just, you got to at least do really, really well with that. Or just get 1,000% of everybody else that's not white and, somehow squeak it out from there. But you got to get some of them. But Joy Reid, all this talk about America is just slavery. It's all it is, and we stole it, and we hate it. And she was on with Don Lemon over there. Well, was she? No, she was on with someone else. I thought it was Don Lemon. I've got another clip I saw of him today. But just this hatred for America, that we're about to go into our 250th anniversary. This next year is a celebration of the United States of America, man. We're almost 250 years old, and we've done a lot of good. And that's what this whole thing about the Smithsonian is. Trump saying, hey, man, you go there, and if you really want to go there and learn about America, what do they teach you? They teach you that America was built on slavery, and it's a horrible place, and you probably don't want anything to do with it. No, America is a beautiful place. She says Elvis Presley stole that music. Well, his style, his theme, he grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, in the music scene. You're not going to be in the music scene in Memphis, Tennessee without knowing a whole lot of black folk, right? Did he pick up that influence from them? Yes, but was that a black or white thing, or was it an American experience? That was a beautiful American experience with people working together, learning from each other, taking from them styles and whatnot, integrating them together and coming up with whole new genres of music. You know, that's what it's all about. And to say that, you know, quote unquote, white people can't invent anything is just racist. That's like me saying black people can't invent anything. Of course they can. Of course they have. I mean, of course. But the cotton gin, one of the most important, you know, inventions of all time was discovered by a black man.
Well, for whatever reason, the corrupt establishment wants to put everything into some sort of nice black and white thing. You know, nothing's nuanced. You know, this is this and this is that and this is, you know, everything has to be a particular way when that's just not even how the world works. I mean, look, I was listening to a black guy that does indie folk music. Okay. That would probably be the last person that somebody would think would be doing indie folk music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded like every other indie folk music. I didn't care that he was black. I didn't care if he was white, but they want to put all these things, you know, like I've even heard black people say, which I think is racist towards their own race when they say this. Well, he doesn't sound black. Well, okay, so every black person in Europe doesn't sound black either then, because they all speak with an English accent. This whole thing is just like, you know, this stereotype. They want to, you know, make us like just think everything has this stereotype and this is the only way that it is. Nothing is nuanced, you know, instead of just all working. Look, no poet is original. Okay. That's just everybody steals from everybody, but you make it your own or you add to it, or you put your flavor to it. But these days, everything's been done before that can be done creatively. Now it's a matter of, we're copying, but we're trying to do it differently, or we're trying to say it a little bit differently, or we're trying to, you know, enlighten certain aspects of it that maybe other people haven't covered, you know. So every poet is as Bob Dylan said.
Yeah, every story's already been told. You know, we just, you know, can sort of come up with our own versions of them that may be organic and pure unto yourself, but at some point in history, someone's already written those words down in one way or another, you know? Which, yet, you know, we also look at what Disney's doing by wokeifying everything, you know, redoing Snow White, in their own voice, where it's now an angry black girl who rants on Twitter about how she hates America.
Who hates
America? Rachel Ziegler. Snow White. Disney.
Oh, right? Yes, I know. Yeah. Okay. Just took me a minute to make the connection there.
Yeah. I knew you would.
Yeah. Well, that's dying out, I think, but they're going to keep trying to keep it alive, you know. They think that it bothers us, you know, like if they attack us and call us names, that ended a long time ago. And that's why we're so bold now. That's why we're so bold in what? In speaking the truth. Yeah. And they didn't want to speaking the truth either, because remember what they called that? They called the truth hate facts. Yeah, that's a real thing that the left came up with and the mainstream media came up with. Those are hate facts. Oh, wait a minute. So we can't tell the truth anymore because you think it's hateful to speak the truth? Well, isn't that what they killed Christ over? Because he spoke the truth?
Wow. Malinformation is another synonym with that, right?
Right on. Yeah. Bingo.
Misinformation, malinformation, they tend to just throw in those two words like they're kind of in the same ballpark, but they're not. Misinformation is me intentionally misleading someone. Malinformation is me telling someone a fact that is a proven fact that the government or the censors don't like. It goes against the agenda of the United States and what their goals are. When they want to inject a mandatory vaccine into everyone, and Barry and I say, hey, wait a minute, is this thing safe? And then we look up something and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm seeing some red flags here. That's malinformation, folks, because they want everybody to get the stick. And they don't want them to know that it could be dangerous, or that remember when the booster came out and they said, at least you won't spread it. You might get it again, but you won't spread it. And then it's like, okay, it's 95% you won't spread it. How about 75? 75% chance you won't spread it. And by the time they're done, it's like, all right, you could get it again, and there's a 90% chance you could spread it too. Okay, so what does this thing do to me? Why am I taking an mRNA vaccine, an RNA, DNA-based vaccine, quote, in quotes? It's not a traditional vaccine. It's the new generation of vaccines, which go directly into your genetics and start messing with your DNA. Versus the old format of vaccines, polio, for instance, they would take a very small amount of polio and introduce it into your system so that you could fight it in such a small dose and build an immunity to it. There's no immunity involved in the mRNA vaccines. Immunity is just not on the table. That's why they never talked about immunity. They never said, okay, you got it, so you can't get it again. Like the flu. You get the flu in a season, you're not going to get it again that year. You might get it again next year, but it's doubtful. It's probably going to take a few years again to get the flu, because you have immunity to it, because you got it. So many diseases are like that. If you have immunity to them, they can't affect you. Or viruses are like that, should I say. If you're immune, you don't get it. You fight it off. You know how to do it. But if you're not immune, then maybe you need a vaccine for it. That's not what this has turned into. We're in a whole different ballpark nowadays. So that's malinformation for you folks.
Yeah, well said, man. And I think the last thing that the corrupt establishment wants for us to do is critical thinking. That means thinking for ourselves. And they were even spreading in the fake news how dangerous that was to do your own research, right? Don't do your own research. Trust us, the experts. But there's a whole bunch of other experts that disagree with you. That's why I always get a second opinion. Like when you go to a doctor, if he says, oh, well, we're going to have to do surgery. Well, do you mind if I get a second opinion first? Of course, yes, please go get a second opinion. The other doctor says, no, that's absolutely not necessary. And here's why. And then you make the decision based on what you think is right. But they don't want you to have critical thinking because that goes, what you said, against the narrative. That's malinformation, perhaps. Right? I remember the one lady, I can't remember what her position was. She was an official in some city, and she was, I'm not going to question the vaccine. I'm just going to roll up my sleeves. I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to trust that it's good for me. I'm like, that's a pathway to danger, if you ask me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not even questioning it, just blind obedience, and it's experimental. Give me a break, man.
And it was odd how the tables kind of turned politically. I never wavered, right? But when I saw Trump rushing out this vaccine, I said, hey, wait a minute, this is kind of dangerous. And a lot of people at that time were making the memes about, are you really going to take Donald Trump's patented injection? Like, really? And they were calling it, the Trump jab and whatnot. And then all of a sudden he got out of office, Biden took over, and all that went away.
The same jab away.
Yeah.
They said, take it. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, you have to take it.
That just I mean, when Trump, I remember Kamala Harris saying, well, I wouldn't take his shot, man. That's, he'll kill you.
Exactly. And then a year later, she's out there saying, if you don't take it, you're going to jail. Like, you're fired immediately. Your pension's gone. Your bank account's gone. Who knows? I mean, let's go. Where do you want to go from there, right? We already saw how debanking. I mean, they didn't do it with COVID so much, but debanking is a big thing. They did it to Donald J. Trump. If they can do it to an ex-president, with 5 or 6 major Fortune 500 banks that weren't allowed to work with him, then they can do it to you and they can do it to me in a heartbeat, in a second flat, if they can do it to a former president. Where we got about a minute left. What do you say?
Just know that there are people out there like CS and I and millions of others that never wavered once in our decision, man. We were never influenced by the so-called influencers of the corrupt establishment. We thought for ourselves. We did our own research, which is not dangerous because at the end of the day, the only person going to be held accountable for the decisions that you make is you. You can't blame it on a doctor. You can, but at the end of the day, your decision is the final decision. You can't live life with other people making decisions for you. That's extremely, extremely dangerous. I mean, I just did a post on social media talking about how, if you want to have grace in your life, undeserved favor, one of the ways to do that is through wisdom, discernment, and guidance, getting the correct guidance. So if you have discernment, you will eventually find the right guidance because you'll search and you'll find and look for the answers. It's really quite simple.
Very good. And, I just can't help thank Alex Jones back in the 90s for creating InfoWars. And I read that thing all the time back then. I've read it my whole life. And it's always taught me to look at life critically, folks. Just thank you, Alex Jones. On that note, folks, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
We're on radio break, and you got some relief coming in, too. Nancy's coming in the second hour to help you guys out.
Oh, sweet.
All right.
What are you saying? We're not doing a good
She
job?
said give her 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So she'll probably be in during the when we come to the break. She just hopped out of the shower from what she was telling me.
The ball? Are you saying we're dropping the ball?
I don't think he's impressed.
What?
I said, are you saying we're dropping the ball?
No, but
I'm just giving you a hard
time. A little
time,
boost always helps too, and then doesn't hurt. And I know you were you're not feeling well, so I'm gonna do what I can to help you out as producer. Veterans Radio in the Kick Chat, appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to get out there earlier. Hawaiian Vixen and Roger Hansen in the Kick Chat as well. MC Dirty Work over in D Live. Look out.
I think we might be surprised. This may have this show may be the biggest success that we've had in a while.
Could be. Stranger things have been known to happen.
We'll have to go look at shoot and see.
Okay.
Did our last show did it get cut off a little bit on the Rumble side?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I tried playing it, and it's like there was like a big space where it was just dead air. So I went over to BitChute. I didn't know if it lasted for very long.
I don't know, but shouldn't have been. Everything should have been right then and there. I didn't have any problems uploading.
I'll have to go try to listen to it again and see. I thought it was just like it went blank after a certain period.
Well, if all else fails and you're listening to the unedited version, you can go right to the YouTube and do it there. I'm doing all the unedits there as well. Since I don't get nailed, since I'm not playing the breaks, so I won't get caught with copyright crap. But
so we're basically back on YouTube now.
Yeah, but only for live. And Jack's the only show. Well, Jack and Debbie are the only shows that I actually upload to there right now, because that's where their fan base is big at.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack was making steaks, so oh geez, man, I'm making steaks, cooking. Yeah, Hawaiian Vixen says mahalo.
Mahalo.
Yeah, and hugs and kisses. Thank you very much, doll. I'm a mod in her channel. She's got a great channel. Appreciate her, and she'll probably bring some folks over later on, as well as other people have been joining here and there. So we're building up as we go along. That's good. I'm gonna take and cut us off from here. All right, and get us up over on the other side and get that going. All right.
All right, let's break on through to the other side, man.
All right, welcome to the other side. Make it sound like I'm doing paranormal shows when it's the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. Peoples. And let me get Nancy in there.
I wish they could be Hawaiian girls.
Yeah.
Well, we had some cooler weather here in Oklahoma today. It wasn't quite as blistering as it usually has been the last week, like 104. Wasn't
Ooh,
quite.
that's-
Yeah, it was 104 a bunch of times here. So, like, okay.
So I was happy about that, you know.
There we go.
Did I get
Get my teams all fixed up. There we go.
Pick up the bullhorn, man. It's got a battery charge, so we're good to go. Can you hear me out there, ladies and gentlemen? This is the bullhorn, and it's time to break it out.
Yeah, we can hear you, Barry.
Yeah, we can hear. All right.
All right, man. Have you ever seen that one crazy woman in D.C. with the bullhorn, the Democrat?
Oh, the crazy one? Yeah.
She goes around. She's got like one of those like mega bullhorns, like, you know, the biggest one you can possibly get with the most watts and loudest, you know, that it just makes your eardrums bleed. And she just like follows people around screaming nothing, just like, you know, it's like blah, 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 just for like miles straight. You know, for like,
She's got a good following too, right?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Well, I think people are just intrigued. Like, what is this woman's problem? What is she doing?
Yeah. And when you watch it from home, it's kind of funny, and you can turn the volume down.
I enjoyed watching this just for the
Yeah, we're not listening for her voice. We just want
No.
to see her looks.
Well, and just everyone reacting
you
to her,
go.
like, man, you're nuts. This lady's nuts. Like,
Yeah, no, it's worth watching. I mean, she literally is insane. Some of the stuff she says is just completely bizarre.
and she does, go to all those political things. So, like, if you want to see the behind the scenes at a Trump rally in New York or whatever, she's going to be there, and like you'll see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, she's definitely got to be some kind of paid troll, though. There's no way she's doing it on her own accord.
She's probably a character actor of some sort that just has this thing on YouTube that works for her, and she's making bank off it.
Could be.
I mean, if you think about it, as much as we know, like, of all the stuff that's out there, because we've heard it all, we could easily, if we really wanted to, go viral.
Come here, buddy.
We would have to basically lie. We would basically have to deceive. We'd basically have to take wrong sides on things. And, I mean, there's a big audience for the doom and gloom crowd, too. Like, it's almost an instantaneous, guaranteed crowd following if you go that route.
Thank you so much, Hawaiian Vixen, for hosting us with 18 viewers. Appreciate you. All our love right to you.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new here in the
Welcome
second
in.
hour, we are on break right now, on commercial break. And we go back live on the radio in about 2 minutes, minute and change from right now. And we'll do the entire second hour live. We'll also have Nancy Planeta be joining us as well, so off we go.
I'm glad
Good times will be had.
you let everybody know it's not Nancy Pelosi that's going to be joining us.
No, Nancy, there's no relation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no different Nancy
Planeta.
altogether.
Planet with an A. Always remember that.
I mean, if you said Nancy P, people might say, is that Nancy Pelosi? We said, no, that's not Nancy Pelosi. The opposite of Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah,
She's
and
Nancy
exploding
Pelosi.
beast.
That site's
in the
occupied.
house as well.
Oh,
Welcome
man.
in, beefy boy.
Hey, don't
What
call me
was
beefy
that,
boy, man.
Zeus? I heard that. What? I know Timmy fell down the well. Tell him to stop doing that shit. Anyways, 30 seconds.
You get 5 seconds.
I know you think you're the boss, but you're not. You're just the assistant producer 3 times removed sometimes. But anyways. Oh yeah? Calm down. You'll get Blue caught up in this. You want Blue caught up in this? She'll tear your butt up, buddy. And here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. No. Sorry.
What?
No. False alarm.
Oh, my God.
Got one file. Yeah,
My
see,
girlfriend
he
used to pull that kinda
distracted
shit.
me. He distracted me. I'm just going to give you the 3, 2, 1 when we're ready.
Do them with your fingers.
Don't? Or do it with my fingers?
Actually, I can't even see those that well.
No, you won't be able to.
I'm too far from that tiny little screen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here it comes. That's right. You know who's driving. Hit neutral on the tail of a comet. 3, 2, 1, and you are live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show for Wednesday night, August 20th, 2025. With me tonight, as always, I've got Bullhorn Barry screaming through that bullhorn. What's going on, Barry?
Yeah, I was screaming, in between the break, not live on the radio. It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta have a real reason to do it live on the radio.
So
I'm
you
sure
know that song by the Stones?
Again, don't you think? I mean, at some point in time, everything's going to come to a head, and man, we're going to have to break out that bullhorn, both of us, right? Because I mean, hey,
Oh yeah,
voice, man.
I can just scream right over that bullhorn. I don't need me one, but you do.
Absolute projection, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Projection. You know that song by the Stones called "Paint It Black"?
Yep, I think I've heard it. Yeah, how's it go?
Doom, 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 doom. I see a mural and I want it painted black. I don't know the exact words, but right, just get that in your head, folks.
A
Get
red
that in your head
door.
while we cover this next story. See a red door and I want it painted black. That's right. Get that song in your head, because Donald Trump is painting the border wall black. Why? To make it hot in the sun so people can't climb it. Genius move. Very cheap, effective, efficient way to make the border just a little more hard to get over. Paint it black. I see a border and I want it painted black.
And I heard black is the new orange, so that's good. Doesn't mean anything. Just go on. Roll with it.
Yeah. So what do you say, man? What do you say? Is that genius? Is that the way to go?
Oh, yeah, no, it's genius, man. Absolutely. I mean, who would have thought of that but Trump? Always into the little minutia details, right? It's never complete until we've done everything we possibly can to make it as good as we can possibly make it. And that's what I love about Trump.
Yeah. And if you go down, to Arizona, somewhere out in the sun, and you see some metal, a black metal pole or something, and you touch that thing, it's going to be hot. Like they talk about how you can fry an egg on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like you can fry an egg on this thing in the middle of the day. Hot. So, yeah. So it's just a cheap, efficient, easy way to make the border a little more secure.
Either that or scramble some eggs. It's just your choice.
Yeah, there you go. Or make breakfast. You can cook bacon on that thing.
We'll make breakfast at the border.
Cook bacon right on that thing. Just wrap it around it, and boom, you got bacon in no time.
No time.
No time. So I don't know. I found that story interesting. It's just such a clever thing to do. That, and you know what it does is it ticks off all the right people too, because they hear that story and they think, "Wow, I'm mad." But at the end of the day, it's just smart. It's good business.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
All the new fast food places are going up from the other side of the border. They'll be cooking potatoes, eggs, and all sorts of other goodies. I don't know if they can make tacos up there or not, but I'm sure they'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tacos.
They could set up like a whole, strip of just, food little, food places like they do in Asia. And just cook it right on the iron there. No need to bring your equipment. Just, you just have to have the sun out.
Just Asia. They do it in Asia. Do you know how big Asia is? Can you be more specific as to which part of Asia without being racist, please?
Well, I mean, they do it here in America as well. I mean,
There you go.
I don't know what you call them, man. Little.
Oh, keep digging, Barry. Keep digging.
Yeah. Well, whatever, man. Let's move on.
All right. Zelensky met with Trump the other day in the Oval Office. Here's a little clip from it that I found hilarious.
Upon peace, God willing, we get peace. Are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, the battlefield, in the sky and the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, okay. I wonder what the thing.
You like this idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of news, I got a question.
He just admitted he was a dictator.
Well, but I love Trump's response. Like, oh, okay, I can just start a war in 3.5 years from now and no more elections. Like, is that how it works?
That's exactly how it works when you're a tyrant. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, they would have voted him out a long time ago had they had the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
His war's been going on for 3 years, and he's just... he's Zelensky, man. I mean, go watch his old shows on TV when he was a quote-unquote late-night comedian. You know? He played the piano with his penis in one.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like the greatest talent ever, so I don't know. But apparently whatever he did somehow resonated with the people, or they did what they do in a lot of places, stole the election for him, because he is a puppet, man. I mean, there's no question about it. He's a puppet. And in fact, his political party was the same name of the political party of a movie that he starred in. I mean, it's just the whole thing is just, it's a charade.
Branding, marketing, it's all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know. I just love the trolling there. Trump is hitting Zelensky for not having elections, right? 2, he's saying to the American press, oh, maybe we won't have elections ever again, which is just going to melt their brains. The View, they're off this week or whatever, but when they come back, their brains are going to melt. They're going to have the worst day ever in all of history. And, we'll just be there to laugh at them as as we drink up their liberal tears.
Yep. Well, I see it as a confession, man. That is him confessing that he is a dictator right there. And like we've been talking about, they're going to be forced to spill the beans. I mean, that's the first time he's actually come out and said it. I mean, we knew that's what was happening, and we've been calling him out on that for years now, how he declared martial law and won't have elections because, they're so-called in a war. But for him to actually come out and say it and everybody to hear basically how insane he is, I mean, it'd be like us. During a war, saying, okay, we can have an election, which is the time you need an election more than any other time, because maybe the military-industrial complex has taken over your president and you're having wars that are not worth fighting for. And so, yes, the most important time to have an election should be during wartime, because do we want this president who's behind this war? If the war's not justified, do we want him actually still in power? Because he could keep this thing going forever, just like they kept Vietnam for going forever.
Yeah.
The Afghanistan war going forever.
Well, that's the thing. The forever wars are just, they never end. So if you can't have elections during a war, I mean, Vietnam went on for what, a dozen years, Afghan, 20 years, 30 years. And so what, you just can't have elections during those periods? No. That's when it's most important to have elections, so that people can say, hey, we got one guy that really wants to kick butt over there. The other one just says, screw it. We've taken enough losses. Let's come home. Forget it. We're done.
Right.
It gives us the choice at the ballot box to say, do we want to continue or go home?
And there's no way anybody can say that Zelensky is fighting this war to win it, because they can't win it. It's impossible for them to defeat Russia. They can keep it going for, decades to come. But what would be the consequences of that? They're never going to defeat Russia. That is an impossibility.
There's been a hack of the databases in Kiev. Apparently, it shows 1.7 million casualties since the beginning of the war on the Ukrainian side.
I believe it.
Now, this is from a Russian group, to be clear. It's from a Russian hacking group, but there is not a lot of reason to doubt it. The number sounds about right, 1.7 million people.
Well, why else would they have to constrict? If they weren't losing so many lives, why would they just be pulling people off the street like they did?
Yeah, and they do. It's ugly over there. It's going to be a long time till Ukraine can bounce back. They're going to have a population that's going to be what's at least 60% women for the foreseeable future. And I mean, if you're a tech guy, if you're a Bitcoin god and you want to, meet beautiful Ukrainian women, now's the time. Well, not now, but if they declare peace, maybe is the time to go over there and start, trying to find your next wife.
You'd think, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like what they did in El Salvador, when they just locked up so many people and then sent away so many to the United States. And they've just created another situation down there where there's a large female population now compared to the men, because the men are either in jail or they've been sent off to the United States for one reason or another, But yeah, it's going on. 1.7 million, man. That's horrible. That's just horrible.
I would think with that many dead, nobody would be supportive of that war, especially, going on for who knows how long.
And all the powers behind it that want to see it going. You know what I mean? They want more. They'd never, all the way back to remember when everyone used to have Ukraine flags in their bios? They were just sending people into the meat grinder. They were supporting the endless meat grinder over there. And we always talk about how the powers that be want to see the population of the planet go down, and wars like that are a great way to lose a few million people. Suddenly, boom, 3 million less people over there. Great. Not a big number, but it's a start. If you really want to kill off 80% of the people, it's a start, which is why they're so evil.
I agree. I think they love the death, man. I think they're obsessed with it. I think feel like they failed if they didn't have a lot of people dying. I mean, I think it's more than just, they want power and resources and things like that. I think it's they're a death cult.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what Elon Musk said as well. I'm not the only one. A lot of people believe that these people that are in control, that they are a death cult.
Yeah.
They're not just about, taking power and the resources. They love being able to see people die because that gives them godlike status. If they can control whether people live or die, that's excuse me. That's godlike status.
Yeah, here on Earth,
Exactly. And they've got a God complex. Even George Soros has admitted that he's got a God complex. I wouldn't call him, like a good God, more like Satan, but he's definitely got a God complex.
Yeah, there's some evil people out there that are controlling the levers of power across the planet that have just tried to lead us time and time and again into the depths of socialism and communism and the depravity and hellholes that they create. And it's up to us as Americans to fight back, push back, say, no, we love our country. We're going to make it safe, happy. We're going to make it great. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make America great. And on that note, let's listen to Stephen Miller on with Hannity the other night.
White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor to the President, Stephen Miller. So I can sum up the Democrats this way, and we'll culminate this with the Mariachi band. They lied for 4 years about the border being closed and secure. They never picked up a phone and called any of the family members that we know. We know Biden and Harris and Mayorkas didn't. We know the Democrats wouldn't stand at a joint session speech of President Trump for Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungary's family. And they're the party of Abrego, Garcia, and Mariachi bands. What should now happen to these mayors and these governors?
The Democrat Party is an extremist organization, Sean. It's not a political party in any normal sense of the word. A political party represents Americans. It represents law-abiding citizens. All you see all day long are crazy Democrats screeching on TV on behalf of foreign terrorists, hardened criminals, and violent illegal aliens. a political party exclusively dedicated to protecting terrorists, criminals, gangbangers, and murderers. That's what they become. These sanctuary city mayors, DOJ's been very clear. They had a deadline and they violated it. They had a deadline to comply with federal law and hand over the criminal illegal aliens in their custody.
Okay, he's talking about sanctuary cities right now. He's talking about the mayors, the governors, everyone down the line. And it's crazy. Let me roll this back 15 seconds. I mean, he's literally coming after them. It's about to hit the fan, folks. Listen to this.
And murderers. That's what they become. These sanctuary city mayors, DOJ's been very clear. They had a deadline and they violated it. They had a deadline to comply with federal law and hand over the criminal illegal aliens in their custody, the child rapists, the child predators, the drug traffickers, the human traffickers. The sanctuary cities, like Boston, refused to turn over these menacing threats to public safety. And so now they face not only revocation of funds, not only the loss of taxpayer support, but also potential criminal charges for harboring and smuggling. This is as real as it gets, Sean.
Listen
the
to this.
Department of Justice laid out to these mayors how they were breaking our laws, and they refused to change their policy, and Attorney General Bondi is going to see this thing through to the end.
Well, to me, it's aiding and abetting.
Yeah, and we get into some of the things here. Let me let Hannity keep going here, because as much as I don't want to play too much of him on the show, I love what Stephen Miller says next.
If I went down to the border and if I were to pick people up that were illegally in the country and transport them around the country and maybe give them a place to stay and protect them and let them know when ICE was going to raid, what would happen to me? Wouldn't I be charged with aiding and abetting criminal activity?
You'd be facing felony charges.
Felonies.
Numerous felony charges.
Numerous.
Charges for trafficking, charges for smuggling, charges for harboring, charges for concealing, charges for illegal interstate commerce, charge after charge after charge. Let me just break down for your audience, Sean, how severe the crime committed by these sanctuary cities is. So you'll have a situation where local police in Boston will arrest an illegal alien who's a child predator. And ICE will then send what's called a detainer request or a hold request. And we'll say, don't release this person, hand them over to ICE, and we'll remove this child predator from our community. Instead, these sanctuary mayors will order the police department to ignore the federal request to set them free out of the jail, out of the prison, and they will go back into the community. And then they will reoffend. They will hurt another little girl. They will hurt another little boy. And then ICE has to spend weeks scouring the community to find this public safety threat. What they're doing, Sean, is evil, and President Trump will see that they are held to account for their crimes.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Every second of that. Evil. Evil.
Yep.
Pedophiles. You got a pedophile in your jail. A dirty, sick, disgusting little pedophile that's having sex with kids. And they're here illegally. And ICE says, hey, we want to come to your jail and pick them up. And they say, no, we're going to let them out on the street. Screw you. That's illegal. That's aiding and abetting. That is so many crimes right there. It is just on and on and on. He listed them, and I'm just too wound up to be able to think of them off the top of my head right now. But it is disgusting. Barry, what say you? We got about a minute and a half left.
They're criminal. That's what we've been trying to say. They're doing criminal acts. And, somehow they've convinced the people in their party that this is somehow noble and this is somehow, a righteous thing to be endangering other people and hurt. I mean, I see it still on X among the left. They post stuff that Stephen Miller's saying as if that's bad. It's crazy. I don't know what kind of world they want to live in. I guess they like the world of just chaos, crime, and murder, rape, and mayhem, and, like it's some sort of horrible bad movie. But I personally, like Trump said, man, he cleaned up D.C. in just a matter of 4 days. And people are liking that because they can get out after 8 o'clock now and they can go walk the streets. They can go to a restaurant and have a nice meal and not worry about being carjacked or having their stuff.
There's that viral TikTok from that black lady She's like, I'm driving at night, Washington, D.C., my windows are down. And I don't have to worry about somebody coming up on me and robbing me.
Exactly.
I'm just kicking it here in my car with my window down in Washington, D.C. Now, I live in a place where if your window's down, just what? I'm not going to get carjacked anymore unless with my window down, right? But not in D.C. Anyway, we got to go to break, folks. We'll be right back after this.
All right, we're on radio break.
Yeah, I was just bringing up what we talked about on the Sunday show. So you're right. That was good. But it's true, man. I mean, that's exactly what's going on. So,
hey, while we're on break, have you guys heard about this new football player that Eastern Michigan just signed?
Tell me.
His name is Noah Kniger.
Is he a white guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not going to go over well.
Yeah. Like Knigger is his last name. And his first name is Noah. Right? So it's like Noah.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's funny, but it's, I mean, we
Yeah,
we
that's
can cover this. Let's break. We're on break.
Yeah, that's about as funny as or as good as Michael Hunt paging, from what was it, Breakfast Club?
And he's an up-and-comer at Eastern Michigan University, and I don't know, man. It's really funny to think about the people calling the broadcast. If he catches that 100-yard touchdown pass.
I just, I've been thinking about like all the different ways that could go so bad. I can't even imagine. Like in today's world, that would just be like, no, it's completely innocent, completely harmless. Nobody would see it that way.
But the black community apparently loves this guy because they're just calling him Noah. They drop the K, right?
Okay.
Like you would pronounce a knight or a knife. Or no, or any other word that starts with K, or
Bringing Nancy in.
Okay.
Okay, I'm here.
Thanks.
Nancy, how are you?
Mr. God, I'm good. How are you, Barry? Hello.
Good. Hey, Nancy, what's up?
That was John up there to ask you how you were doing.
Do what?
And I called you Nancy too. You probably didn't.
That's
catch
okay. I did, but I'm not sure where it came from. But I'm all good.
I was talking about since we're on break, it's kind of a funny story. There's this guy out of Eastern Michigan. He's a football player, up and comer. His last name is spelled Knigger, and he's a white guy.
Oh. Yeah, where's Raph?
So
where's Raph? I'm sure Raph had something to say about that.
So it's pronounced like Canancy instead of just Nancy. It's they drop the it's a hard K.
You'd have a much better time making fun of my last name because it's something that happens all the time because it's Planeta, but everybody always says placenta, and I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it happens all the time though. Like, your last name's Placenta. I'm like, no. Can you spell? Look at my last name. It's Planeta.
More folks will pronounce my name right before yours at times.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Mark. I still can't pronounce your name right, so I'm like, yeah, it's Mark.
It's
just Mark.
That's right.
His first name and his last name. Yep. If we have to say anything, it'll be Producer Mark. His first name will turn into Producer. The last name will become Mark.
Or just, hey, if you forget that, it's just Dragus Productions. Yeah, there we go.
If you want, if you want to send an invite to Rafi, I can see if he wants to jump in. I don't know if he's ever done CS or not.
No, maybe on a Sunday night. I think he'd probably be a better one for Sunday night. I'd like to see him and Willie.
Why not? You guys could join us if you want on the first week of September on the Sunday show.
Oh, the first week of September going into the anniversary of 9/11. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bad idea.
Because we've got a little bit of dead air that we're going to have that night because of, I don't want to get into it, but yeah.
Well, when you talk to MC, when you talk to MC this Sunday too, he's really good on that topic as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
MC is
Well,
like.
I don't want to load it up. but,
Here's
you know,
your
if
here's your
Nancy wanted to
countdown,
join
by
us,
the
then-
way. 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show for August 20, 2025. And tonight, we've got joining us for the final segment of the show, Nancy Planetta. Nancy, how are you?
I am great, although my brain is still stuck on the August 20, 2025, because the way you put that together, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm literally doing the slashes in my head going, okay, wait. Yep, nope, that's right.
Yeah.
How are you tonight?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. It's so good to have you in the second hour. And of course, we've got Barry here as well. What's up, Barry?
What's up, man? Ready to finish it out and finish it out strong.
Exactly. So, Nancy, you are a host of one of Mark's other shows. Why don't you tell everyone about that?
Okay, so I do the Vixen's Vault, and the Vixen's Vault's been around since 2007. I have picked up with Mark. I think it was like 2010, Mark, when we met at Sepia, and then we broke off in like 2011, if I remember right, if I'm doing my timing table correctly. But I do a show. Basically, it started specifically aimed into the paranormal, but it's difficult with me because I worked with and for the show Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi, so I have a lot of connections in the entertainment industry within the paranormal, but I'm not, how do you put this? I'm not on the entertainment side of it, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm more of a critical approach to things. I like to break science down. I don't like anything unexplained, so I will work tirelessly to make puzzle pieces fit together. That being said, my show quickly went from paranormal strictly to conspiracies. Because each time there's literally 3 branches of the paranormal, and most people don't realize that. It's not just ghosts, ghost hunting, spirits. No. You've got the spiritual aspect or the spirit aspect of it. You've got the UFO aspect of it, and then you've got the cryptozoology aspect of it. And what I found over time, very interestingly enough, is that the government is involved in all 3 fields.
Yeah.
So it led more to a jump into why? What is the common denominator here that we're seeing? Well, we're seeing a lot of common denominators with, say, I don't know, different testing of weapons and the reactions of people's brains to those weapons, pharmaceuticals that are prescribed, the reactions to those, the way certain people with certain mental illnesses are treated when there's other ways to do that, and it can exacerbate the situation, we'll put it that way. How they silence people. The way, and actually that's what really led into conspiracy theories, the I guess you could say the tinfoil hat club. That nice little label that got thrown on everybody. Well, I always said it's funny because the whole conspiracy theorist label came out of John F. Kennedy's assassination. And we all know there was a lot going on there. And that actually connects to the paranormal. Why? Because JFK was actually involved in a UFO investigation and file that is FBI documented. And he was said to have been discussing going public with some of these files. And he was assassinated not too long afterwards. But again, there's so many reasons he could have been assassinated.
So these are the types of things you guys cover, right?
Yeah, we covered that. We cover current politics, mainly because there's so, they have made it a gold mine for somebody like me, because there's so much
conspiracy
fake news versus real news versus documentation that they never talk about versus things going on worldwide that they don't want you to know about in real time, how it gets presented to us. Basically the fact that, propaganda became a rule of thumb by law back under Obama's administration, and yet people just don't want to shake awake. And it's interesting because I tell people all the time, I'm very much into the Q aspect of things, and not for the reasons you think, but because it in of itself is a conspiracy. whether it's real, whether it's not, whether it's a psyop, whether it's not, it's still a conspiracy. It is multiple things that have gathered together to push an agenda.
Yeah.
So whether or
Wild
not
stuff,
it's a
huh?
positive
Yeah.
or a negative is
wild.
up to right. Well, let me tell you something. It brought a lot of things in my field again to the forefront, like Operation Looking Glass, things like the Philadelphia experiment, things that I have delved into in huge ways that deal with transdimension, time travel, all these different things that have always been little things floating about, but there's some really solid documentation and science that can go behind this stuff. So, like I said, it's just we can really go down the rabbit hole on the show, and I've got to tell you, I am blessed because the people I have surrounding me on the show. I mean, I'm a person who's everybody's welcome, and everybody's welcome to an opinion. Your opinions are always respected. I may not agree, and I'll let you know if I don't. But that doesn't mean I don't respect the fact that you have your own experiences and perceptions that make up your opinion. So like I said, I've been really blessed because I have a great group of people, very intelligent people. Everybody's got their own niche.
Good.
So I've got Vicky.
Yeah.
Vicky is like my theologian.
Anyway, what I want to do is have you back one of these days, maybe in the next month or so, and we'll do a Wednesday show, and I'll dive into this for an hour with you, and we'll go through the whole.
We could keep going.
Yeah, exactly. But we do news over here, so it's great to have you on. But I wanted to kind of get into some current events that are going on.
Go for it.
And we got a truth out from President Trump the other day that said, "I'm going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots." And also, we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines while we're at it, right? Which cost 10 times more than an accurate and sophisticated watermark paper, which is faster and leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won and who lost the election. So I like how he says, at the end of the evening, leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won or lost the election. We're going to get rid of mail-in ballots. Thank you. Get rid of them. The counting machines, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial. 10 times more expensive than watermark ballots. So, Nancy, is this necessary? Is this absolutely the best thing you've ever heard, or is it horrible? Do you love mail-in ballots? Where are you?
Okay, so you know what I do professionally, correct? Professionally, no. I do cybersecurity and OSINT research. I'm actually a certified ethical hacker, as well as I hold a CISSP certification, which is Certified Industry Professional, and I am an OSINT Level 3. So, yeah, I actually worked for the supervisor of election during the 2020 elections here in my county. And I can tell you they were stuffing ballot boxes and that the mail-in ballots were a bunch of hockapooey. And I can also tell you that the software was a crap. It was not, let's just put it this way. When they kept saying, oh, you can't say the election was rigged. No, we can absolutely say it was rigged. There's evidence of it. I witnessed it. And I can tell you that the way they suppressed it in the courts was criminal. But that being said, yes, he's right. Not only do we need to get rid of the mail-in ballots because it is like the easiest way to cheat, we also need to stop putting or stop the State Department. Hopefully he's done this, but for about the last decade, the State Department has packed when the immigrants are coming through and they're crossing the border and they're given the packets. Since I want to say 2019 going into 2020, right before Trump really came into office hard, and actually it was also happening during the Obama administration, they are putting voter registrations into the packets. And here's my big problem with that. See, it's not legal for an illegal to vote. Okay, we all know that. It's pretty boldly stated. They cannot vote. They are not U.S. citizens. Only U.S. citizens can vote.
Well, in federal elections.
Correct. Now, that being said, if you put a voter registration in a package and
Mhm.
don't tell that immigrant that, hey, that's not legal. You can only vote on the state level and only in the states where that's been passed, New York and California pretty much. You can only vote in those states on the state level. So they can't discern the difference. They don't know the difference. And these states don't require ID when you're voting. So
Yeah.
if they cast a vote in a federal election, okay, yeah, it's wrong. But here's the thing, it still counts. So they don't, and then you can research this if you want. Once the ballot is cast, that's it. It's cast. So there's no removing those ballots after the fact. So any illegal who cast votes during the 2020 election, those votes counted. It didn't matter that an illegal cast the vote. And this is where it gets even more fun. If the illegal didn't know that this was against the law, if they thought they were okay because they filled out this voter registration, you can't prosecute them. Welcome to our legal system.
Right.
And there's not only that, they were mass mailing people ballots. So there was multiple ballots going out to one person. All they had to do is check them off, return them, or stuff them into a ballot box on location. It was a seeding ground to cheat, but it's been that way for a long time. And that's kind of what I said. And here's the fun part.
Very. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they watermarked the 2020 election. And that's where I'm saying I think you're going to have some real interesting information come out as more movement comes about, because it's going to be definitively proven that, that election was absolutely fraudulent. And I think 2022 is also fraudulent in many ways, even though Republicans did well. Well, yeah, if you're playing a game like that, you got to play it so people don't highly suspect you. Especially the ones that don't believe that you cheated. So again, I think these coming 2026 elections are going to be very interesting. And Dominion's so sketchy. It's not even funny. It's not, and it's got a lot to do with why we're after Venezuela right now. Politically, there's so many things, so many moving parts that are happening right now.
And Barry, what do you say, man?
Well, I'll say that it was Dr. Steve Pachinik who was saying that there were watermarks on those ballots, and there were other people who said it as well. And I think they presented some kind of documentation about it, that it was factual. And so why didn't they do something about it then? I think that's the big $10,000 question. I think that, had they done it then, it probably wouldn't have gone over as well as if they go over it now, because the tide has kind of shifted. People kind of understand that voter fraud was real, whereas before it could have really erupted into maybe even a civil war. Who knows, right? They would have just said Trump was being a dictator because they wouldn't even care about facts. We know that the left doesn't care about facts. But now, you've got all this evidence coming forth from Tulsi Gabbard, from all these, Pam Bondi, the DOJ. So that kind of turns the tide, so that all of these things that may or may not have been real, I think the watermark thing is real, myself personally. Trump is a prepared type of guy, but he didn't use that. And he, did what he called the pause. So in a way, I'm not a Q person either, but there are, as I've said about Q many, many times, there was always a kernel of truth in it. They certainly exposed the pedophiles. They certainly exposed the New World Order. There was a lot of real truth that took place within the Q movement. That doesn't mean all the predictions were real, though.
Well, they also exposed players like Bruce Orr. They exposed Russiagate. They exposed, there's so much that they knew about. They knew COVID was coming. All of these things, that's why I said it made me really look hard into Operation Looking Glass, because I was like, this is an algorithm beyond algorithms. To me, this is almost like a sentient system, because it's so dead on. And yes, I think there was definitely human intervention in some of the things. That's one of the things I specialize in is actually being able to read and determine, is this a male? Is this a female? Is this a computer? Is this AI? I'm very good at it. And I can tell you, like I said to somebody, some of the Q drops, if you look the way they're articulated, that's a female, because that's the way females write. It's the way they articulate, and most likely a European female, because the grammar's too correct. American women do not write like that.
Now, Trump went on in his truth to say that we are now the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting. We're the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting. Let that sink in, folks. Let that sink in. If you live in Colorado, nowhere in the world do they do this, right? Nowhere in the world do they have mail-in voting. We need to get rid of it. He goes on to say that this will be strongly opposed by the Democrats because they cheat at levels never seen before. Democrats are virtually unelectable without signing this completely disproven mail-in scam, he goes on to say. Executive order coming down the pike. And folks, this is going to be nipped in the bud. 2026, our midterm elections are not going to be rigged. Right? They're not going to be rigged. It's not going to be the scam it has been in the past. But anyway, let's move on to another story because I want to get a few more in here before we run out of time. MSNBC has done a brand change. They have been cut off from NBC. So NBC has nothing to do with MSNBC anymore. So now it is going to be referred to as MS Now, which is short for My Source for News, Opinion, World. The beginning of the end, right? I don't know who wants to take this first. This is the beginning of the end of MSNBC. It is gone.
Think about that now. That kind of just reverse the letters a little bit, and you get NWO. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the logo kind of looks like a P, so it also kind of has a PMS Now thing going.
PMS Now. Yeah, they've had PMS for a long time. But it also, I find it interesting that MSNBC actually came out of, when it was first out, it was MSN. And I find it interesting that they've gone back to something similar to their original, but it still does not. I'm wondering where the fracture was, because NBC as a platform and as a broadcast system is incredibly liberal, and they always have been. Like, they lean very far to the left side. So I'm wondering if, basically MSNBC, if it wasn't a mutual break, because they can't survive on a liberal platform. None of them can. CNN's getting hammered. They're all getting hammered. It's almost a matter of survival now, where you have got to either go somewhat more towards the center or go center specifically, if you even want a hope of survival.
Yeah, and are they going to lose their access to all the cable rights, right? Yep. Are they going to be in the airports and all those, chain restaurants and whatnot that, pay them to be there kind of thing? If they lose all that asset, they lose everything. If they're not in the cable system, if I can't turn on my cable TV and MS Now is not there, then they're on their own on YouTube. They're out there fighting for their own on social media, which can be done if you're good, but you got to be good out there. You got to, like you said, go to the middle and show both sides. You got to be fair and balanced and actually cover the news.
It worked for Tucker Carlson, and but he's right. But like I said, he jumped off. He went self-platforming. He took over Twitter pretty much, and he was successful in how he did it.
Yeah. He's losing a lot of people lately, but that's another story. But Barry, what were you saying?
Yeah. Yep.
I just don't think any kind of rebranding is going to change anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We predicted that's exactly what they would do. And they'll do that also in the 2028 elections. The Democrats will. They'll rebrand a little bit, but it'll be exactly the same. I seriously doubt they're smart enough to put in a fake populist candidate that's really just a New World Order stooge. I just don't. I think that if they were smart, that would be the smartest thing that they would do, like they did with Obama, who was basically a globalist puppet who posed as a populist, who posed as a constitutionalist. Like I've said before, he was a constitutional lawyer. He said, we're not going to take your guns. I'm a middle of the road kind of guy. And he was the guy that started all the radical stuff. He's the guy that started the divide and conquer.
Yeah. And we talk about the ballots out there, mail-in ballots. So was Secretary of State of Colorado was responding to this here. Now, mind you, this is the woman who tried to get Donald Trump off the ballot in Colorado for no reason. You know, she quoted January 6th, but really, she tried to just get Donald Trump off the ballot, like Germany does to AfD. You know, this is her responding to the mail-in ballot.
We are in conversations with our attorneys to make sure we're defending Colorado's elections. Look, mail ballots are secure. They cannot be hacked because they're a piece of paper. That is increasingly more important as Trump has made our elections less secure since taking office again. He's disbanded much of the federal government's work on countering foreign disinformation and is obviously taking cues about democracy from a dictator, Putin. And we are in conversation.
What? I'm sorry, what did you just say? She tried to take Donald Trump off the ballot. Now she's saying that Donald Trump is taking orders from a dictator like Putin because he wants to get rid of mail-in ballots, which we just said are not used anywhere on the planet because they're so dangerous. They're so easy to scam. You know, I used to live in a small town in Colorado, and I'll tell you, if they got those mail-in ballots there at that post office, and this goes to this post office, you know, this box, but they're not there anymore. They're going to throw it in a pile in the corner. And by the end of the month, there's going to be 300, 400, 500, 600 ballots there in a town of 1,000 people.
Yep.
You telling me that's secure?
Nope. Can tell you for a fact it's not.
But Colorado, man, I'll tell you, this Secretary of State tried to get Donald Trump taken off the ballot. And the Supreme Court said, what are you, stupid? And yeah, she responded now by saying, yes, I'm very stupid. And, you know, he's taking orders from Putin. You're taking orders from Stalin, honey.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, that, you know, if I was a member of the press at that conference, when she went to take questions, I would have proposed the question to her. Well, are you then saying that we should, as a guiding force with this peace negotiation, as part of the peace negotiation, we should demand that Zelensky do mail-in ballots? Because, sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I mean, it's when you twist it on them and say, well, wait a minute, so fair is fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's
that's
disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got a couple of minutes left. We'll take a minute and a half, and then we'll do some outros where you guys can post your social media stuff. But Barry, take it for a minute on that note.
Well, I mean, they've got the same narrative. They're pushing the same stuff they've always been pushing, and they didn't have success with it before. They're not going to have success with it now, but it's all they have. We've talked about that so many times before. It doesn't matter how many times they're debunked. They're going to keep just with their insanity because it's all they've got. I was just looking on Breitbart where they were talking about celebs throw conspiracy-filled tantrums over Trump's Russia-Ukraine peace talks, and they're still the P-tape true believer. So they're still pushing this P-tape thing, you know, the Russian prostitutes, all the nonsense that's been fully debunked 1,000 times in one. And yet they still just keep pushing it because they're scared. They're scared that basically America is going to be restored and there's the playing field's going to be leveled, which means that people like the Hollywood-dos, they're not going to have as much sway or as much influence as they have in times past. And they hate that because they see themselves as illuminated. They see themselves as the ones who are our guides. But the reason that America's failing is because we've had terrible guides. It's the blind leading the blind, and they're leading us over the edge of a cliff.
I love it, man. Barry, where can we find you on social media?
Find me on X, Bullhorn Barry.
All right. Nancy, where can we find you on social media?
All right, guys. You can find me on X as Rider on the Storm. On Telegram, I am Wiccan Vixen, and I actually I administrate for at least 7 Telegram groups. I own and run at least 7 more Telegram groups. So I am all over. I have thousands of people on Telegram that are constantly pushing information internationally. So we're giving our groups news from around the world, unbiased news, and a lot of times it's from boots on the ground. So that's the way we like it, and it keeps things squared away. You can also find me on Facebook as Nancy Planetta.
We are running out of time quickly, so we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining us, Nancy. Thank you to you, Barry, as well. Folks, we're going to wrap it up here, but our producer, Mark, Dragus Productions, has tons of content coming up right after this message.
All right. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks,
problem.
everybody.
See you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah.
You're welcome. My
Bringing
pleasure.
Nancy in actually gave us a boost in numbers all over, so that helped. And brought your energy level